Perhaps you learned about Ayurveda for the first time from a friend. Perhaps you learned about it while taking a yoga class, or perhaps you learned about it just because of your interest in health and wellness. And something about it piqued your interest. Uh, Maybe it was the tasty way that and really satisfying way that Ayurveda views food, and how Ayurveda uses food as medicine in this very delicious, wonderful way. Perhaps it was uh, you started to notice the way Ayurveda has a certain harmony with nature that feels right. Oh, and not just a harmony with nature, but a harmony with your instincts. That Ayurveda felt gentle, and that Ayurveda seemed vibrant and even colorful. I think that that's something special about Ayurveda, is that it's never boring or drab or draconian or harsh, or it feels good to do Ayurveda. And for whatever reason, you found yourself interested in studying Ayurveda, and after a little bit of time, got more interested. A little bit of time went by, and you got more interested, and you realized that you had a passion for this. And probably that's one thing that everyone who is on the call today can appreciate is, or that they all have in common, is a passion for Ayurveda. That this seems like something that you want to do and make a part of your life, make a part of the life of your community, and to offer Ayurveda as a way to help your community feel better, to improve their quality of life, to help them heal from various conditions and imbalances. And altogether, that brought you here. I'm grateful to see all of you today, and to see so much wide interest in Ayurveda. I think that it's a real special time to be in the Ayurveda industry and really bringing it to this country, bringing it to the public, and communicating to the public some of its benefits. The kind of medicine that Ayurveda offers was dominant throughout the world until around the 1600s. For about 2,500 years, this was the dominant form of medicine, and it's been pushed to the wayside. And now there's a resurgence of it because it offers something wonderful, and it offers great possibilities of healing. And it's clinical. It offers a clinical theory of medicine that's usable by everyday people, and that's what made it particularly exciting to me. And I'm guessing is that is what's made it particularly exciting to some of you as well. That you see Ayurveda is a suitable, good fit for human happiness and human for a good life. And I mean that in a very in the physical sense, that it offers some way of making your physical body feel good. And so today I'm here to give an introduction to our online Ayurveda certification courses. My name is John Immel. This is what I look like. And I'm the director and founder of the Joyful Belly School of Ayurveda. You may be familiar with some of what we offer on the website, and how we write about food, and how we write about recipes, and the kind of learning that you can get from reading some of the things online. And in this program, we'll go much deeper into some of those methods that we touch upon on the website. So in our training programs, or among our training programs, we have two Ayurveda courses called the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine, which is a 2-year program, and the Mastering Ayurvedic Digestion and Nutrition program, which is a 1-year program. And the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine program is a program to start you from really ground zero, that you get complete training in all of the Ayurvedic fundamentals throughout the first year, all the Ayurvedic theory, and then in the second year, extensive clinical training and really applied Ayurveda. So in second year is where we talk about how to apply those fundamentals to unique situations like pregnancy or ear, nose, and throat disorders, to mental health, etc. Will be so year one, all Ayurveda fundamentals and theory. Year two, applying Ayurveda in various contexts and learning how to approach clients in a clinical encounter and do that professionally, so that clients come away from meeting with you just feeling like they have been well cared for. That's the in the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine program. We also teach you how to see the whole person, mentally, emotionally, physically. That's our goal. Our goal is that you understand the human body and the interrelationships between the parts. One of the things that Western medicine is good at is breaking everything up into the pieces and parts, and so that they can study each piece in isolation. Well, what Ayurveda does is put all those parts back together into the whole, and knowing and understanding the interrelationships between things. That's the focus of Ayurveda, is how to approach the whole person and understand their individual makeup, their individual imbalances, make sense of how to make sense of that, and how to find ways of shifting those imbalances back towards health. In the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition program, this is a course that's highly specialized on digestive tract pathology and Ayurvedic nutrition. Now, people come to this program without taking the fundamentals course for 2 years, and people take it also after going through the 2-year program. So folks who have a strong interest in digestive tract pathology and Ayurvedic nutrition, and don't want to learn about the whole body, but want to go in much greater depth in this area than we could cover in a broad course like the other course I just mentioned, they will gravitate towards this course. So this course is a 500-hour course, 10 months long, where we will focus on digestive tract pathology and covering over 30 major digestive tract pathologies that we feel like are representative of all the kinds of imbalances that you will get in the GI tract. So obviously there's more than 30 different digestive tract pathologies, but in covering those 30, you will get a good sense for how to deal with all digestive tract pathology that you encounter clinically. And so in both of these programs, we will get medical practitioners looking to continue their education, and also students who are coming in from the ground up and who want to start their career in health and wellness. Great. The purpose and mission and goal of the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition is to raise your level of knowledge and expertise in digestive health and food to the level of mastery. Really, digestion is one of Ayurveda's main strengths. And so in producing this program, what we're doing at Joyful Belly is telling the world that, hey, Ayurveda has something amazing to offer in the area of digestive health and nutrition, and that everyone should take a second look at it. Every gastroenterologist should be interested in this course, and any nutritionist, any dietitian should be required to take this course in Ayurvedic digestion, just because Ayurveda's understanding the digestive process is I think very innovative. It's ancient, but because it's been overlooked, really it's innovative and cutting edge. Okay, great. In both courses, you will develop your insight and intuition on how the body works. You will immerse yourself in Ayurveda and live and breathe Ayurveda's principles so that you truly internalize it. Now, I'll tell you, some students try to memorize every single interrelationship between every part of the body, and those students could even drive themselves crazy trying to memorize all that information. What we're going to try to teach you is Ayurveda's concepts, so that you understand Ayurveda so deeply that you will understand those interrelationships, and even um, that you will be able to get creative with that, so that it will become second nature, right? When something's second nature, you don't have to memorize it; you understand it, and you can use it in a new context. That's what we're looking for: is the ability to teach you how to think like an Ayurvedic person, so that you can apply it in a variety of different contexts, even in contexts that we haven't necessarily explained to you directly. Okay, great. I see there's a few people waiting to join on the call. So let me admit them into the call, and I think that they're in now. Yes, they are. Good. And welcome those folks that just came in. Great. In both programs, you'll learn how to work with clients. Although in the fundamentals course, we're going to train you in how to approach or train you how to have a professional clinical practice. In the digestion course, we're going to assume that you already know and have good professional clinical skills. So there's a prerequisite for the digestion course, which is that you've been in the health and wellness for quite some time. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be a gastroenterologist or a doctor. You could have been a yoga therapist, or a yoga teacher, or a massage therapist, but you have a basic understanding of how to talk to clients about health and wellness, and general, good boundaries, professional skills, how to set up a nice looking office, those kinds of things. We're going to assume you know that. We're going to assume that in the digestion course that you're going to be bringing your expertise to the student body, and enriching the program because of your past experiences. And whereas in the fundamentals course, this could literally be your first foray into health and wellness. The goal of our programs is your ability to apply practical knowledge of the body, diet, lifestyle, and herbs to lead your clients to new health and vitality. Now, this word practical is really important because some you may have read an Ayurveda book, or come across some Ayurvedic websites, and you'll see that Ayurveda is explained in very mystical terms, almost or in very exotic terms that are designed to really just open your mind, right? What our goal is going to be in this program is to make
she's doing too.
Practical.
Like, why isn't she getting?
Let me just mute those lines. All right, good. Our goal is to give you something very practical, to give you something that you can use and understand. Not that it's going to be something far out or mystical, but something just very natural, very instinctual for you. So I think it's very accessible. This course is very accessible. I'm going to say it's challenging, it's clinical, but it's natural and accessible. And I think that is really the right way to go. I think that's what's going to give you the confidence to have a great, vibrant, successful practice when you graduate. And you're going to feel that confidence and be glad when you have it. Great. Great. Let me give you a few quotes from some of our graduates who've taken our courses. Angela Rosoff, a graduate of Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition 2017 class. I feel like I'm bursting with bodily awakening, he says. My skin is more vibrant than ever. This is so powerful. At this time of year, I want to share my gratitude for being a part of this transformative education. Ayurveda truly offers a new beginning. All right, another graduate from Ohio writes, I am thankful and grateful for you and the creation of the Joyful Belly program. You have a stellar group of teachers, yourself included, and I feel truly blessed to have been led down this path as part of my journey. How about from a gastroenterologist? As far as the course, it has been an eye-opening experience for me. As a pediatric gastroenterologist, there is so much I have been doing as an allopathic physician for the past 22 years, and I wished that I had stepped into Ayurveda sooner. It's not too late, however. As I grasp the Ayurveda concept, understanding why, how, and what should be done has become easier, and I'm enjoying that very much. Thank you. So this course is about awakening to your body. You're going to be doing lots of body awareness experiments that are going to help you tune in to how your body's working and what your body needs. And so Ayurveda training in the end is very visceral training. It's not just theoretical. It's not just something that it's not just biochemical, but remember that Ayurveda was developed at a time before blood tests, before you could, before there were microscopes. And so the Ayurveda methods and tools use our five senses, and we get really good at interpreting the information of the five senses. The fact is that every organ in your body does something really important. And when that organ is not working well, you can see it in every square inch of the body. And so what we want to show you is how to see what's happening underneath the surface by looking at the surface, and through your five senses, understanding the imbalances of your client. So this course is and will be a different kind of learning. And I say this to those Western medical folks that are on the call today. This will be a different kind of learning for you. I know you know that already, but it's going to be supplemental. I say different because it's not contradictory. It is supplemental, and you will see that it's that you'll see its practicality, and you'll also see its rationality. And I think it's going to be exciting. It won't offend your scientific brain. It'll just be a different way of looking at things. All right. So why do people study Ayurveda? Why study Ayurveda? People study Ayurveda because they want to create something wholesome in the world. They like to solve problems and help people improve their quality of life. But even more than that, they want to show people how to feel good. They have a passion for people. Now, I know you can take different kinds of health paradigms, and sometimes it's about the health paradigm and not about people, right? Like we could make this course about Ayurveda instead of about healing people. And it is about Ayurveda, but we're never going to lose sight in this course that we're not studying Ayurveda just because we love Ayurveda. We're studying Ayurveda because we love people, and it's something we want to give to people, right? I think that's a nuance, but it's very important to know that that's our purpose. That our purpose is not how cool is Ayurveda. Our purpose is how can we use it to help people feel good. People come to Ayurveda because they want to live a life of meaning and generosity. It's a labor of love. It's yes, you will have a successful clinical practice once you graduate if you apply yourself. But why is it a labor of love? Because the body is so vast, medicine is so big that that it's something that in order to do well, you have to have a passion for it. And I'm not just speaking about Ayurveda. I'm speaking about any medical discipline. This has to be something that you have a passion to learn, that you want to study the liver, and and the left lobe of the liver, or you want to get down into the details. And when you wake up at night, you want to contemplate, like, oh, what is going on there? I read that article yesterday. What is really going on there? And you contemplate it, and imagine what you've learned, and integrate it, and then start to apply it. Those are the folks that become stellar clinicians, and so you have to have a generous heart in order to love people and health enough to invest that. And that is a very meaningful life. That is a happy life, right? What are we going to do to make our lives happy? We're going to give to the people around us. And so people come to Ayurveda who see in Ayurveda something special, right as rain, something very natural that they can give to people. People come to Ayurveda because they know the natural way is the best foundation for health. And they want to bring a natural perspective to their community. Many people are inextricably drawn to Ayurveda. It's something that, and that was true for me. In fact, I rejected Ayurveda when I first heard of it outright completely, because I didn't want some kind of rule-based eating system to be imposed on me. I come from an Italian Catholic family. Food is just a really important part of my family culture. It's how I show people I love them, is through food. And I didn't want some kind of system that claimed to be a health system cramping my artistic, generous way of giving to people through food. And so I initially rejected it. It took me several years and a few different individuals telling me about it before a sort of spark was lit, where I realized that it wasn't the case that Ayurveda was going to cramp my style with cooking or make my food boring, that it was actually just the opposite, that through Ayurveda, I would learn to know how to cook more tasty food, more satisfying food, more balanced food. Our tongues are made to enjoy food that's healthy for us. Now, because of processed food and other things, that system doesn't always work so well in the modern context. And there are ways to kind of bypass and get around our tongue's natural instincts. But on the whole, our tongue does a pretty good job. And if we know Ayurveda's natural language, and we know and can see how our body's working, we can make very, very satisfying food. And that's why we call it joyful belly. And it's not just healthy belly, it's a joyful belly, because it's something special, satisfying, and enjoyable. And so maybe it's Ayurveda's natural way. Maybe it's how Ayurveda integrates physical health with spiritual health. While Ayurveda is not integrated into any particular religion, or isn't associated with any particular kind of spirituality, it can operate independent of that. Ayurveda acknowledges that spiritual health is extremely important for physical health. Well, the scientific community agrees. There's been numerous research that shows that that shows that really there are like two main ways of, or the two simple ways to live healthy, which is get a lot of exercise, and have a spiritual practice. Those two single things will do extraordinary things for your health. The scientific community shows that, and Ayurveda affirms that as well. And Ayurveda also goes into all the nuances, complexities, and details of how to optimize your health. All right, yeah. So in Ayurveda, there's something more than just a new herb to use, something more than just a new way of thinking about the body. And so people come to Ayurveda because they want to get into the heart of it. Instead of just reading a book or getting a few health tips, they want to live it. They want to breathe it. They want to immerse themselves in it. They want to offer it to others. And in the beginning, it's going to be a little awkward. In the beginning, it's going to be like using a new set of muscles, like riding a bicycle, like speaking a new language. It's a little awkward at first because it's a different way of thinking. It's not exactly the scientific method. It's a different way of analyzing the truth, a different model for analyzing the truth that actually you'll be able to use through in many contexts. And this method of analysis, not just in a health context, but it was used in many contexts, and it's pre-scientific method, I would say, that was common throughout the medieval academic institutions, all the way back to the Greek times, and also in the Vedic culture. There was a style and approach to understanding the world that was just a little different, that remains relevant today. And you're going to learn that, and you're going to be able to apply that not just to health, but into many areas of your life. So that's transformational, and that's going to be exciting. But it's going to be like speaking a new language or using a new set of muscles at first. Don't be dismayed. Don't be turned away. Don't be, when you're grinding through, when you're 4 months into the course and you're feeling like, oh my goodness, like, when is this all going to click in or whatever? It will click in. It will click in. And once it clicks in, it'll be like riding a bicycle. You'll never be able to forget it again. And that's going to be exciting. I look forward to that day. And our students are going through that right now. Our students right now in February and March, some of the toughest months in the program, they are turning that corner right now. And I know that by the end of April, the light bulbs are going to start going off, and May as well. And when they get to summer vacation, they're going to be like, wow, because it happens every year. So prepare for that ride. All right, what about Ayurveda as a career choice? I talked a little bit about that earlier, but once people realize they love Ayurveda, that they have a passion for it, that they want to offer it, some practical questions start to surface, right? They start to be thinking about, like, is this something I can actually do and feed my family, and not just feed my family, but thrive? I don't think there's any doubt these days that there's just a huge market for health and wellness. It's actually a larger market in alternative health and wellness than there is in mainstream Western medicine. Now that blows my mind, because we shouldn't call it alternative then, right? We say when we say mainstream medicine, we think of Western medicine, and alternative medicine is things like Ayurveda. But alternative medicine is actually a bigger industry than Western medicine, in pure terms of dollars worldwide. And so, who's the alternative and who's the mainstream? I think we've got to look at that. We've got to relook at that. According to the Global Wellness Institute, wellness expenditures at 4.2 trillion were more than half of total global health expenditures, which were 7.3 trillion. Okay, so that means that mainstream Western medicine is 3.1 trillion, as opposed to health and wellness alternative medicine expenditures being 4.2 trillion. And this sector is growing very quickly. It's growing at twice as fast as the economy is growing. So there are lots of people doing very well in this market, and we all seen it. YouTube influencers, etc., doing very well in this market and making a good living off of it. And you can too. Does that mean that it's just gonna like come to you without your effort? No. There are practitioners that are not successful, but I can tell you that if you're focused and if you're passionate, you will do well. And what do I mean by focused? Right? By focused, I mean that you focus on a problem that clients have and you offer a solution. Okay? When you go down the road and down the highway, I never see billboards from medical doctors saying, "Hi, I'm the greatest medical doctor around. Come to my practice." I never see anything like that. I always see doctors offering some kind of focused solution. So they do have billboards that say things like, "Come to my diabetes clinic. I've been running a diabetes clinic for 15 years. I've healed thousands and can heal you too." It's focused. It's focused on a problem that clients have. So same thing with you. You're not going to go out after you graduate from our programs and say, "Hi, come to me because I'm the best Ayurveda practitioner around." What you're going to say is something like, "Do you have gas and bloating? I have a practice that focuses on what you need. Do you have IBS? I have a practice that focuses on IBS." Or, "Do you have Parkinson's? Are you looking for more beautiful skin?" If you offer a solution to a problem that clients have and you get passionate about it, you're going to be successful. And that's what works. I've seen it over and over again in the industry, that instead of trying to be everything for everyone, you pick something and you get really good at it. And then people from with all different kinds of imbalances come to you anyway, even when you focus on just that one thing. So I focus on digestion in my clinical practice, and people come to me with things like asthma, and I tell them, "Okay, I don't have as much of a clinical specialty in asthma, but I can, but I'll see you, I'll do a session with you, and then I'm going to refer you out. I'm going to refer that person out to somebody else who does specialize in it, maybe to one of our graduates." All right, great. And we've seen that Ayurveda is growing in popularity. We've seen that. I went to I gave a talk at Yoga Alliance a few years ago, and they had triple the number of people attending than their normal teleconferences. And why? Because people are hungry for it. And not just in the yoga world. Yoga world, they know a lot about Ayurveda. What about outside the yoga world? Well, I also went to a Christian health and wellness consortium and spoke there. And I had over 1,000 people register on my website that day. Excuse me, over 1,600 people register on Joyful Belly that day. So it's not just the subculture of yoga. It's not just people in cities or metropolitan folks. It's people in small towns as well as cities. It's in the yoga subculture as well as in the mainstream population. People are interested. People need solutions, and they need practitioners. They need practitioners who are going to make a good name for Ayurveda. People who are serious about studying. So you get to be on that cutting edge of that trend if you want. All right, what is unique about our school, our certification programs, about Joyful Belly? One is our goal is to show you how to be a teacher of health. There's something very different about Ayurveda from any other kind of health discipline, which is we teach our clients how to help themselves. You don't go to an acupuncturist and learn how to stick needles in yourself when you go back home, right? Nobody does that. Nobody does acupuncture on themselves. But we teach our clients, we teach our students, yes, Ayurveda practitioners teach their clients how to help themselves. So you have to be a good teacher, which means you need to learn Ayurveda from good teachers, from 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 people who have a calling to teach. I was looking to hire a teacher last week who had great clinical skills, but I had to hold off on hiring that teacher because they didn't have a calling to be a teacher. Now, I do have a calling to be a teacher. My whole adult life, I have been a passionate teacher in one capacity or another. Even when I was an undergraduate at Harvard University in the computer science and mathematics department, by the time I was a junior, my professors were asking me to be a teaching fellow for the freshman year, sophomore year courses, which is very rare. None of my other classmates as an undergraduate were asked to be a teaching fellow during their, while they were still an undergraduate. But I was passionate about learning and I was passionate about teaching, and my teachers recognized that and they invited me. And then after I graduated, I taught in the Harvard Extension School. And after that, I ran a consulting practice. And what do consultants do? They teach. And I've been teaching Ayurveda also for 12 years, both on the website and in these online certification programs. Some people ask me, like, how did you get from computer science and mathematics to Ayurveda? Well, I got interested in Ayurveda, in mathematics because I thought math was truth. And I've always was interested in ultimate truths. I was always interested in cooking, ultimate truth, God. I was always interested in those things. And so I studied math because I thought that math would give me that ultimate truth. And I realized that math gave me a lot, but that I also needed something more, that the truth of our humanity was not exactly mathematical, rational, but not mathematical, right? Beautiful, ordered, and sometimes unpredictable, but not just haphazard, right? And so there was some beautiful way that behind some beautiful nature behind our humanity that I wanted to learn. And so I started studying human nature for the same exact reason that I started studying mathematics. And that has been an extraordinarily beautiful, part of my life, which I'm really proud of. And so, yeah. So what is unique about our program is that you're going to learn from teachers that know how to communicate, so that they can teach you how to be a teacher. You will be challenged in our programs. Our programs will be difficult, not unsurmountable. It's not like you need to be a Harvard mathematician in order to understand Ayurveda. No, Ayurveda is very instinctual, but there's a lot to learn, and you're going to need enthusiasm, and so you will be challenged. It's doable for an adult with a busy life. We made our program for adults with busy lives. If you have kids, you have a job, juggling a job and kids and a spouse and aging parents, right? Our program is a part-time program, 12 to 13 hours a week for the health counselor fundamentals course, and 8 to 10 hours a week for the digestion course. And so it's doable for people with busy lives. It's all online, half of it asynchronous, half of it synchronous, so that you have a lot of flexibility in your schedule, flexible extension policies. We've been doing this online education and remote learning for a long time, long before COVID. And so we've worked out those kinks, and we know how to support adults who have busy lives. Look, if you're a smart person who, and you've been out there living life for a while, you probably have a lot going on in your life. But you're exactly the kind of person we want, right? We want leaders to be studying Ayurveda. And so, but what's true for all leaders is they don't have a lot of time. So we made the course accessible for you, and we made the course flexible for you too. So if you got concerns about that, then contact me, and we can talk about the kind of flexibility that you need. So our course will be challenging but flexible, experiential. We're gonna learn by doing. Now a lot of people say, well, how can an online program be more experiential than a program in person? Well, I'm gonna say that, yeah, it is more experiential. When I was a student in a traditional classroom setting, and not doing it online, I was sitting 4 rows back. The teacher was 25 feet in front of me with the client, and the teacher was examining the client's tongue. And what I could see from about 35 feet away was that the client had a tongue, but I couldn't see anything about the client's tongue at all. And contrast that with our program. I am going to put a zoomed in blow up of the client's tongue on the screen, and you will see the tongue better than if the client was standing in front of you, because let's face it, you can't sit there and stare at your client's tongue with your eyeball in their mouth for 5 minutes, right? So even when I see clients in my clinical practice, I take a picture of their tongue and put it on the screen, and we look at it together, right? So multimedia makes for a richer experience. That's why traditional classrooms are using multimedia these days. And COVID pushed the whole industry online. I'm grateful for that. But we've been doing it for 10 years, and we know how to do it well. And I'm a computer geek, so I also, for that reason, know how to do it well. And our program is designed to include body experiments and awareness experiments that you're going to do every single week. And you're just going to, and that's how we did it in my traditional classroom setting, is they gave us an assignment, we went home and did it. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do with you. Only thing is that in this program, you're going to get way more experiential learning than I got in my program. It's going to be a rigorous program. We're going to give you the science behind it, and we're going to give you the rationale behind it, where we don't have scientific analysis, or where scientific analysis isn't exactly the right approach. We'll give you the rationale. We're gonna support our claims, and tell you what's conjectures and what isn't, so that you're not confused about what is true and what is just experiential street knowledge that we have. All those kinds of things. Yeah. Great. Let's continue moving forward here. Let's talk a little bit about our student body, and I'm going to end this presentation with the structure of the courses, so that you know exactly how to go. Okay. So our student body. Well, one, I talked a little bit about myself, that I started as a mathematician from Harvard. Math was art for me. Math was ultimate truth. And but then I realized I needed to know more about human nature. I started traveling the world. I quit my company. I did that whole .com thing. I had millions of dollars invested in my company that I started after graduating, and then after running that for about 6 or 7 years, I left that organization in search of the truth about human nature, and started traveling the world. I went to France. I ate like some of the best food I've ever had in my life. I lived in Morocco and studied Arabic in Fez, and then I moved to Bangladesh, and I was working on a public health project in Bangladesh, and into other countries as well. I lived in Bangladesh for 1.5 years, and I studied Bengali for 10 years. And that's why I can understand medical Sanskrit in the ancient texts. I open the ancient text, I can read it in Sanskrit and understand it, because I studied Bengali for 10 years. And But while I was in all those other countries, I was super overconfident and, like kind of young buck, traveling and eating street food everywhere I went because that was exciting to me. I wanted to like talk to people. I wanted to be out in the streets, and I got sick. I probably had like 10 different kinds of parasites. I, and and I lost a lot of weight. I was really struggling, and I came back to this country kind of a shadow or a shell, and I needed help, and I healed my body with Ayurveda from that. And so that was exciting to me that Ayurveda offered that possibility, and that was part of my impetus for offering it to others. So I don't think my story is alone. I think people on this call today probably have had personal health issues, and they turned to Ayurveda and found it effective, and now they're here today. Other people didn't have to go through what I went through, and they're interested in it. Yeah, but that's what our student body. I think I'm representative in some cases of my of the student body. But here's what else we hear. We hear from students saying, "I'm looking to do a full-on career change, doing what I love." Now, sometimes I hear people say, like, "Oh, I'm overworking in my corporate job, and I just want to relax and do something different." Well, that's not what you're going to get in Ayurveda. Ayurveda is awesome. Ayurveda is natural. It's beautiful. It's all that. But it's not like, we don't work hard. We do work hard. You are starting a clinical practice that has great responsibility attached to it. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's great. I just don't want you to think like, that you're retiring and doing Ayurveda. That's not it. It's you're starting the career, that's your mission. You're starting a mission, right? We all need to have a mission. That's what makes life meaningful. That's what makes life wonderful, is that we have a mission to do something good in the world with the time that we have here. Whether you're 80 years old, 70 years old, 60 years old, 50 years old, use your energy to do great things. And Ayurveda could be that. But it's not the end of your career, it's the beginning. Prospective students say, I want a career that fits with my family life. Now, that is true. It does fit with family life. Ayurveda is balanced. Well, I went to a clinic in India, and there's the practitioner, which was a very successful, very well-known practitioner in the community, and he had a clinic, and there was nothing perfect about this clinic, right? It wasn't like super fancy or anything like that. His kids were like hanging on his back, but he was at that clinic. Literally, he was at that clinic from like 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night because he wanted to help poor people in his community. And people were lining up out the door. This very hardworking man, but it was integrated with his family life. And even if you're not working from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., which I don't work from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m., I have a reasonable work schedule. But in some way, even while I'm giving this presentation, you might hear like one of my kids running out crying, right? It fits with family life. Ayurveda is natural. Prospective students say, I wanted to do something to help my local community. Other people say, my children have grown and left the house, and I finally have time for myself and my own interests again. Others say I'm a lifelong learner. Others say I want to benefit myself personally and work on my own health issues. I've already talked a little bit about who makes up our student body: nurse practitioners, yoga teachers, spa owners, estheticians, dermatologists, medical doctors, functional medicine practitioners, mental health and social workers, individuals who want to become healers. Some of your career opportunities. People will integrate it into their current clinical practice, if they have one, or integrate it into their yoga classes, host a retreat, work at an integrative clinic, use Ayurveda to improve quality of life care if you're a nurse. One of our graduates works on a celebrity yacht as an Ayurvedic chef. One of our graduates uses Ayurveda as a supplement in her mental health clinic to improve children with autism. Any situation where you're taking care of people, Ayurveda is helpful. Other people write books and create movies about Ayurveda. There's lots of ways to go. Some of our students teach at university or work in a hospital. All right, let's get to the course format. So that way we can get to Q&A and you guys can go on with your night. Course format. In the Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine, the 750-hour 2-year program, you're going to get 180 pre-recorded presentations split up week by week. Now, we probably spent about 25 to 40 hours on each of those presentations. If you do the math on that, tremendous investment went into this curriculum. And not just by me, a team of teachers. We had a team of teachers looking over this. You're not just getting John Immel's version of Ayurveda. What you're getting is a team of teachers offering you their perspectives in those pre-recorded presentations, which is where you're going to learn asynchronously. You can listen to those at 5 in the morning or at 5 at night or 11 p.m. at night. My wife, her brain is alive and awake and at its best at 11 p.m. My brain, I'm sharp at 5 a.m. I wake up at 5 a.m. and do my studying. She does her studying at night. That's where an online program is way better because if a class is every day at 2 p.m. after lunch, I'd be sleeping because after lunch, I'm tired. I take a little nap and then I wake up again. That's why this call today is not at 2 p.m. It's at 4 p.m. After I'm refreshed and ready to tackle the evening. Each weekly module, you'll get 3 pre-recorded presentations and 3 live reviews. Those live reviews are going to be an hour-and-a-half long classes. You'll get a weekly quiz for each of the pre-recorded presentations and food experiments each week. Yes, the course will include midterms and finals for each of the 2 years. Why? Why is that so necessary for intellectual development? Because there has to be some point where you pull everything you learn together and it's available and usable, because that's what you have to do with a client. When a client comes to you, you're going to need every single thing you learned at your fingertips. Every single client you see is a midterm. Every single client you see is a final, right? So you need to have a midterm and a final, and that's because we aim for great academics in our program. So that's year 1. Year 2 looks pretty similar, except you're going to have 80 supervised clinical encounters with clients. You're going to do 15 buddy consultations, and then, but let me break down that 80 supervised clinical encounters. So you'll do 15 buddy consultations with other students. Then the teachers will pick, I don't know, maybe something, I think it's even maybe 30 students. Is it 30? 30 of the students in the class will become case studies for class, and your teacher will review those cases in the class. And then you're going to meet with, have 25 clinical encounters with clients from your local community. And then you're going to review those with a mentor, and other students will observe you presenting your case studies to the mentor. And that will be some additional supervised clinical encounters for you. And you'll also be assessing, you'll also be meeting with buddies for and doing consultations on particular areas of the body to hone your skills in particular areas. Altogether, this is going to give you what? 103 different clinical encounters before you graduate. And that's going to make it so that you feel confident in a clinical setting using Ayurveda. We're going to give you all the forms and legal parameters that you need. We're going to show you how to run a highly polished clinic, how to promote your practice, the business end of things. We're going to include special topics in year 2, like pregnancy, postpartum, sense therapy, Marma points, etc. All the application of the Ayurvedic principles. In the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition program, you get 60 pre-recorded presentations. And that's going to include 3 live classes per week. It starts in October. By the way, the fundamentals course starts at the end of August. The digestion course starts in October. You'll get, in each weekly module in the digestion course, you're going to get a pre-recorded main lecture, a pre-recorded optional lecture. Now, if you're an Ayurveda practitioner, you don't need to listen to the optional lecture, although you might want to. So for you, if you're an Ayurveda practitioner and you're just going to listen to that main lecture, you might be spending 5 hours a week on the course. But other students will be spending 8 to 10 hours. There'll be a quiz each week, a food or herb experiment. So that, here's the thing with these food experiments. You're going to know food so well that by the time you graduate, you'll be able to eat a food you have never seen before. And just through your taste of the food and your experiences, your physical experience of eating the food and seeing how your body reacts, you will be able to detail the pharmacological actions and medicinal uses of that herb. How did people used to figure out what herbs were good for what? Right? Did all the herbalists in ancient times use double-blind controlled studies? No. They understood how herbs worked in their body, and they correlated that with their experience eating it. And so, like, if I eat a new herb, I can tell you what that herb is going to be useful for. Now, I may not get every single one of the uses. I may only be able to pick up 80% of the uses, but it should be pretty much around 80%. And then the other 20%, you need to use the herb for a long time to understand it. But that's what we're going to show you, is that old, ancient skill of learning how to taste a food and tell about its pharmacological and medicinal effects. Each week, you'll get a case study in the digestive course as well. And you'll also develop a therapeutic protocol while in the program that you will be able to share with other students, and also that you will be able to offer to your clients. So if you pick a specialty, suppose you're going to focus on colon cancer. Well, write your therapeutic protocol about colon cancer, and then you have an ebook that you can sell for your clients, to your clients when you're done. So that's a challenging exercise, that therapeutic protocol, because we're going to ask you to do research. And every year, students say that was the hardest thing about the digestion course. But they also said that it was the that was the thing they were most proud of when they graduated, was that therapeutic protocol. If you miss one of the live coaching calls because you're in a different time zone, that's no problem. All of our classes are recorded for those who missed and can't attend the live lecture. That's fine. We have students from Japan. We have students from New Zealand. We have students from Australia, Great Britain, from the South, from the Arabian Peninsula, South Africa. We have students in Hawaii, the West Coast, East Coast. Our classes are designed so that no matter what time zone you're in, you will be able to attend at least one live class a week, and the others you can listen to on recording. Most of our students typically attend 2 recorded classes a week, and listen to, attend 2 live classes live and 1 class by recording. But we have some students that can only attend 1 a week, and some students can attend all 3. Either way, you're not going to miss anything out. If something comes up at work, let us know, and we'll be flexible with our extension policy with you, as long as you give us a little bit of heads up. We don't want procrastination. We're not enabling procrastination, but if you give us a little bit of heads up that, you know, next week's going to be a tough work week or whatever, we'll give you an extension. If you want to go on vacation with your family too, you know, we all have families. I have 5 kids, right? Those kids need me. I'm daddy to those kids, and I don't want to miss out on anything. So so you know, if you have a family vacation planned and you're thinking about this course, don't cancel it. Just ask for an extension. Life happens while you're in this course. We've had students who had a parent die and they had to wrap up their estate. They were the estate planner or the state, I forget the term now all of a sudden, but they're the ones who had to wrap up the estate, executor of the will. And it took them a month, and then they came back to classes after the month was over. and they picked up where they left off. Yeah, they had some catch up to do. Yeah, there were some difficult times, but you know, if you want to achieve your goals, there's going to be some times where it's a little difficult. If whether that's financially or whether that's time or whatever, right? Reaching our goals always requires some kind of sacrifice. We're just going to make it as easy as possible without sacrificing the quality of your education, right? Yeah, we can make it really easy, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to educate you. Our goal is that you cross that finish line and have that confidence. All right. Time per week, 12 to 13 for the health counselor course, 8 to 12 for MID. It really depends on how you learn. If I was a student, I'd be like 20 hours a week because I like to look over every single detail meticulously. And that's fine. You can listen to the recordings after the course is over. Also, we have to get through it. So for those students that really want to absorb every little thing, like me, we're going to be pushing you a little bit to keep moving forward so that you cross that finish line. And for other students, they will zip right through it, but we want to make sure that you do it slow enough that you're getting the information and that you're contemplating it. I would not try to study all of Ayurveda in a single year. I mean, what can you do in a year? This is something that takes time. We could design a year-long course and it would be a full-time program and it would just blow your brain out of the water. I think any program that claims to give you Ayurvedic knowledge within 1 year is doing a grave injustice to Ayurveda and to the profession. This is a 2-year program for a reason. Assignments and tests are graded pass-fail. So it's non-competitive, but I will say that our students that do well in the program, we try to offer them internships, and that way they get some extra experience and even offset some of their educational costs. So by the time the spring comes around and you're in your first year, that there may be some options for that. It's a convenient distance learning format. Calls are generally attended by 20 to 40 students. You'll study in the comfort of your own home, office, or anywhere in the world. Listen to a lecture on the beach. If you miss a lecture, you can download the recording. Expect a community of support. The fact is that there aren't 100 other Ayurveda practitioners in your town, probably. I don't know of any town that has 100 Ayurveda practitioners. But in this program, you will have a community of support from about 100 other Ayurveda practitioners, 100 other students. And you will be doing buddy consultations with each other. You are going to know your fellow students. You're going to be 2 years with them, and you're going to have that community for the rest of your life. When we invite you to our alumni group, you will be able to interact with students from your program. So expect to be challenged, expect to be heard, valued, encouraged, supported by classmates, by your teachers, by our student support team here at Joyful Belly, and by me. I love to talk to students about your mission in Ayurveda. I love to help you form your mission in Ayurveda. Even before you sign up, you feel free to give me a call. My number is 828-785-8213. Actually, text me first because I won't necessarily be able to pick up at any moment. I'm running a business, and I always have a lot going on, but I look forward to talking with you and even talking to you about your mission. So I'm going to put my number in the chat box here, 828-785-8213. I have Telegram and Signal if you want to call me internationally. Use +1. That's my country code, the country code for the United States. So feel free to. Oh, someone that gave it to everyone in the waiting room. Is there somebody in the waiting room? Oh, there is a person in the waiting room. Julia. Let's get her in. Okay. So yeah, let me put that into, there's my number in the chat. Text me if you want to talk to me. We're giving everyone who attended this call, if you register after attending this call in the next 3 days, I'll give you a $950 discount off of your tuition as a scholarship. Okay. Reach out. It's a big decision. I know it's a big decision. That to sign on to something that you're going to do for the next 2 years is that's a big choice to make. So feel free to reach out, call me, or text me, call me, and we can talk about it. You can talk to Rachel, who's our program director at Joyful Belly. Also, if you want to email study@joyfulbelly.com, you can talk to her, and she will tell you about our program. She was a student in our program, so she can tell you what it's like, right? Not just from me, but from someone who did it, who went through it. And she sweated it out through the tough times, and she learned a lot, and it was very inspiring for her. And she will tell you, all about it. And she will tell you even tips on how to, and I will give you tips too. I'm happy to give you tips on how to form good study habits that will reduce the amount of time that it takes you in this course. We can talk about that at any time. Let me just show you how to register. Hold on one second here. Give me 1 second. I'll go to the home page. All right, let me share the home page. Okay. All right, so if you want to register, go to the website. You click on Wellness Courses, and you can see here these two links: the Master Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition, Fundamentals of Ayurvedic Medicine 2-year program. You click on one of them, and you'll see here that as long as you register, I'm going to reset this date here. As long as you register in the next 3 days, you'll get a $950 scholarship towards your tuition. And you can hit the register. You just hit this button. You can pay a $600 deposit, or you can register for the monthly payments. Now you do not have to do both. Okay. The total tuition for the Ayurveda Health Counselor program is $6,999. That's for 2 years of education. That comes out to something like just under $3,500 a year, and which is a super deal for an Ayurveda education. The only reason why we can offer you that is just simply because we're an online school. Our overhead costs are we're efficient. Our overhead costs are low, and I can offer you a education for $3,500 a year, which is which I think is really unbelievable, and I'm excited to be able to do that. But you can pay it monthly at $250 a month, or you can save a little bit. You can save by paying upfront. You can up to $250 by paying with a $600 a deposit, and then sending in your check for the remainder of the tuition. We can only accept the tuition yearly at a time, so you'll pay year 1 tuition and then year 2 tuition as a check if you do it that way, or you can do the monthly payment. Same thing with the Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition course, $237 a month. I have to recalculate that with the discount. It might change slightly because I'm going to recalculate that with the discount and the number of months you have left. So you might see a small modification on that, but it'll be around that. If you register right now, you'll get that $237 a month. But after the call, I'm going to update that. And if you register at that point, it'll be a slightly different amount. So anyway, but your total tuition doesn't change. You'll get that $950 discount off of tuition. The tuition for Mastering Ayurveda Digestion and Nutrition is $4,499, and then with that $950 discount, you get $3,549 is your tuition. Same thing with the fundamentals course. Tuition is $6,990 with $950 off. It's basically around $6,000. Very, very competitive price for a great Ayurveda education. And you can register in the next, like I said, 3 days to get that. So that's how to register. Click that orange button. Reach out to me, text me if you'd like, so that we can I can answer any questions you have, and even about your mission, and even how to talk to your spouse. Right? You may be interested in Ayurveda, but is your spouse interested in Ayurveda? Is your spouse, how are you going to talk to them about that? Well, I can show you how to present your goals in such a way that your spouse will see that you have a practical vision. Because you may not know how to make your vision practical yet, but I know how to make your vision practical. So I can help you explain that, so that the people in your life that you are, that are participating in this decision and affected by this decision can feel good about it. There are 3 main reasons why students don't register, and it's either time, money, or support. And I can help you with each of those. I can help you with options on each of those. And not having enough money, not having enough time, not having support from others in your community, whether it's your boss or a spouse or a parent or whatever. I can talk about it. Whatever that discomfort may be. I've had students come to me who had spiritual concerns, or who had or they wanted to make sure it was practical, or we can talk about any of that. I'm happy to walk you through it. So I want to thank all of you. Thank you, 1, for being interested in health, for being interested in healing your community. 2, for being interested in Ayurveda, for choosing Ayurveda as the best way to help others heal. And 3rd, I want to thank you for choosing Joyful Belly. We work hard to present a great product, great information. We offer a lot for free on the website, so that the public can understand Ayurveda and learn from it. And we offer a lot to our students too. And I hope that, I feel very grateful that you're here, because you recognize that. And yeah, so with that, let me open the floor to questions. How can I help? Unmute your line if you have a question. Anybody have a question? Feel free to type your question in the chat too, if you like. And I see some people writing thank you in there. And you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, Dr. Tiffany Tapp, you have a question. Will we learn about the different types of Ayurvedic massage and how to perform them? Okay, one thing, Tiffany, which I'll say is that yes, we will show you how to do Abhyanga massage, which is the self-massage, which is talked about in the Ayurvedic texts. Ayurvedic texts do refer to Ayurvedic massage, but massage itself is a whole nother discipline. And the Ayurvedic texts refer to it in only 1 single sentence. So there is no real, I would say, classical instruction on Ayurvedic massage, but we will show you how to do self-massage and Ayurveda's technique for using oils and all the other things about how to do that Ayurvedically, but we're not going to teach you how to do massage itself. So you'll still need a massage, background or degree to do massage, because, and also you'll need that for a license to touch anyway. Julie is asking, can I study on the weekends and maybe one day during the week, or will we have to work on it daily? Julia, yes, most of our students do all of their homework on the weekends. And then during the week is when they might attend their live classes. Malin asks, thanks for all the great info. Is there a U.S. or global certification to apply or register for after the 2-year course, similar to Yoga Alliance for yoga teachers? Yes, Malin, and I would recommend APNA for that. APNA is a great organization for that. And but I want to say that, Malin, that you don't have to register for any certifying body. Ayurveda is an unlicensed profession, which means it is not regulated by the U.S. government, and you can practice Ayurveda after you graduate. There are some variances in the scope according to state of what a non-medical doctor can do, but basically an Ayurveda degree is equivalent to a health coach in terms of scope of practice. There are no states in the United States that recognize that have licensed Ayurveda. So they don't have any specific U.S. government recognition for certifications. And so you can graduate from this program without any further ado and start seeing clients. You don't have to pay to take any exam. You don't have to pass any board thing or whatever. But if you want to join another organization like APNA, you can. And we can talk about that more specifically, because there are also some organizations that I do not recommend, and I'll tell you why if you want to reach out to me. But yeah, APNA is the one that we would go with. But also, like I said, you can use your degree from Joyful Belly as the basis for your practice alone. Oh, Malin, you live in Sweden. Yeah, we have students from Sweden every year. In fact, recently in the last 3 years, we've had, for some reason, more students from Scandinavian countries than previously. So yeah, we welcome you in the program and look forward to seeing you. The actual certification you'll receive, Angela, is as an Ayurveda Health Counselor and as an Ayurveda Digestive Health Coach. But as I said, those terms are not regulated, and you know, there's a general consensus among industry on what should be included at this level of training, and we follow that. I'm the current president of the National Association of Ayurveda Schools and Colleges, called NASC, and so, you know, we kind of, you know, as this group of schools, we get together and discuss curriculum standards and things like that. Is the internship physical? Yes, you will meet with clients in your hometown, but you won't be coming here to meet with clients. You will be meeting with your clients in your hometown. How does it work in with America in performing healing practices, or how does it really work? What are the main regulation of cannot, etc. in the United States? Okay, here's the thing, Cynthia. We can't pretend we're medical doctors. Okay, I don't, and really, I actually prefer this because as a medical doctor, you can give somebody a drug and say, this pharmaceutical will fix you, will fix your cancer. As an Ayurveda practitioner, I can't say that, which is great, because there's a little bit of a lack of humility in that. What I like to say to my clients, and I think that that, you know, really this is what should be said, is that many people have been helped by this particular drug, or many people have been helped by this herb in my case, or this food, or people with muscular dystrophy, for example, or multiple sclerosis have been helped with this herb. Is this herb suitable for you? It seems that, you know, there are several ways in which Ayurveda would say that it is a good fit, but you take a look at this herb, read a few web pages on it, understand it, and decide whether it's right for you. Ask your doctor if they think their herb is right for you. That's what I tell my clients. I don't tell my clients that this particular herb is going to be a miracle for you. I want my clients to participate in their own health and wellness journey, and so I want them to make the decision, but I want to give them the information that they need in order to make that decision. So health coaches are educators in the eyes of the law, and that's how I see myself. I don't tell my clients what to do. I educate my clients so that they know what to do, and I educate them with. I pick the information that I think is specifically relevant to them. So yeah, hopefully that helps to understand how to talk to clients. And you're welcome, Cynthia. What other questions can I answer? Thank you for your questions, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming to today's call. And I look forward to being in touch. Feel free to reach out. Have a great day.